Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Reality Check-In. My name is Matthew Melendez. The handsome guy next to me is Michael Jenkin. And today we're talking about one of the worst fans in the league and the worst team in the league. I can't stand this team, but I know we have to talk about them. We're talking about the Boston Red Sox. And
Boo,
Boo is
boo,
right. Go ahead,
boo.
let's hear it. I hope many others agree with us. I don't like them. They're horrible. Their fans are disgusting. But you know what? They had a decent year last year, and going into this season, Mike, what do you think about the Boston Red Sox? What do you see them doing? What do you think that they can achieve?
Well, I think obviously Boston won the offseason battle. They brought in Chris Sale, and obviously that was a huge enough splash. But these guys also brought in Mitch Moreland to complement the loss of Big Poppy. And, late in last year, too, they brought in Drew Pomeranz, which didn't quite work out. But this team's obviously a talented team. I can't deny it. As much as I don't like them, I agree with you from that side of it, things. They have a pretty talented lineup, and they have a talented rotation, at least in appearance, but I'm not necessarily sold on that rotation.
Yes.
So I look at things and people are excited. Chris Sale, oh man, we have the best rotation in the world now because we added Chris Sale. Nah, I mean, Chris Sale, don't get me wrong, the guy is fantastic and he
Yep.
is a nice addition to any team. But David Price coming off the worst year in his career, it's very hittable last year. He had an ERA literally a hundredth of a point away from being a 4, and if that's
Ooh.
your ace, I don't necessarily know that that's what I want. Porcello's
Nope.
coming off the Cy Young, which I don't know if he really should have got it. Verlander's the guy I would have given it to anyways,
Tough call.
and I don't know. I don't know if he's going to repeat that. And then you keep going further down. Drew Pomeranz, a guy that came out of nowhere. Everyone seemed to be really high on. He got to Boston, and then it was just he had a 4.59 ERA and a losing record. I mean,
I love it.
people forget like San Diego is a pitcher-friendly park, and Boston is not, and he got absolutely lit up in Boston. So
Yep.
I don't know that they're as good as people are as excited to be about.
Yeah, well, besides the rotation, I mean, you got to think about it too. They just lost Big Poppy. This is going to be their first year going in without him. That's a big hole to fill. Do you think that they are ready to go forward offensively without him?
I think there's some question marks. I think the biggest thing, that the Big Poppy thing, is so much bigger than didn't even imagine, because not only was he like one of their best hitters, arguably their best hitter,
Yeah,
but he's also their locker room guy, their swagger guy, their everything.
yep.
He brought their role just fit with him because he was such a great leader for them. So that's even a bigger question mark. Who steps in and fills the void?
Big
I don't
hole.
know if Mitch Moreland is the guy that I think can really be an everyday guy for them and deliver the way Big Poppy did. And then, everyone's getting excited for Pablo Sandoval. Oh, he lost 20 pounds again. But seems like by the time early April comes back, he got back to the buffet and that pounds are back on. He's breaking the mold.
Yes.
I don't. And then, Sandy Leone had a very good year for them last year at catcher, but I don't know that that's necessarily replicated. And
Yep.
and now they're platooning Benintendi and Chris Young out there in left field. So while they have top level hitters, I can't deny that, they also have a number of spots where there are big question marks to me, and
Yep.
I don't know that they necessarily are as good as people want them to be,
Do you
honestly.
think the hype for Mookie Betts will continue, where they are comparing him to Mike Trout and putting him in the same conversation? Do you think it's right or it's going to go down?
I love Mookie Betts. I
Okay.
hate to say it, but
Yeah.
Mookie Betts is just everything you want in a ball player.
Yeah.
Plays hard, hits the ball for power, hits for average, steals bases. I think Mookie Betts is the real deal. But I don't think this team has a real
Enough.
issue with the offense. Where I find that this team may really struggle is pitching. Notably, like I talked about with the rotation. But on top of that, if you get digging deeper, that bullpen is so sketch. I
They
mean,
have a
you're talking.
bullpen.
I mean, they call it one, but I don't know if you
Okay.
necessarily know if it is. I mean, you're talking about like Tyler Thornburg, Joe Kelly, Craig Kimbrell look as hittable as ever
Wow.
last year. I mean, he is no longer the guy that we once thought he was. So,
Nope.
if this, I'm worried for this team, honestly. I know the
Yep.
hype is there, but I could see this being a disaster year, honestly.
So how close are they to 100 wins, and how close are they to being 500?
I honestly think that this pitching staff, if the back end doesn't help him out, and I don't really know what David Price really offers to them anymore, I feel like he's continually going to decline. This team's a couple losing streaks away from being a 500
Yeah.
squad, in my
Okay.
opinion. I don't know that 100 wins doesn't seem that plausible to me. I think everything would have to go right for them to get 100 wins, but I think they're they're closer to a 500 team if this pitching staff doesn't deliver. And I'm talking about mainly the starters.
Okay, and realistically talking, let's go and wrap this up. At the end of the season, do you see them in what position going in towards the postseason, or even in the AL East? Where do you see them standing?
Yeah, I see a lot of people overhyping this team. I got them fighting for a wild card spot.
Oh
I
boy,
don't know they even win the AL East. I think they'll be in contention for a wild card spot, but even that can be in doubt, honestly.
be in doubt. I love it. And truthfully, from my standpoint, I hope they finish last in their division, in the AL. I'm going to be
And all of
honest.
baseball, can
And
you
all
just
of
finish
baseball.
0 wins and 162 losses?
Oh, let's be honest. I'd love to see that. Again, guys, my name is Matthew Melendez. That's Michael Jenkin, and y'all just been reality checked.